concept of a mobile reserve? Oh, Arun's shoulders slumped. This was the scenario every human on the planet hated, being made to feel like children by older races that had seen it all before. He tried to put every iota of assertiveness into his voice and asked, "Were there any casualties?" Speaking those words made him think of his fire team buddies, Osmond, Madge, and Springer. Were they dead? Properly dead? "There were 4 minor injuries," the alien told him. Arun relaxed. "And 1 fatality. Name of Isabella de Grouchy." Arun pictured bouncy brown hair, a hooked nose set into a serious freckle-dashed face that was often frowning. De Grouchy had flashed him a momentary half-smile once. They'd never spoken, but he'd seen her enough to paint a vivid picture of her in his mind's eye. Now she was gone. Isabella hadn't exactly been the first to die, not when Arun considered all those who hadn't survived to graduate from novice school as a cadet. He glanced at the Guardians still crowding the tunnel, apparently in deep sleep. Arun idly flicked the larger chunks of mess off his body. He felt a throb of pain to his left leg and torso. He squeezed his right eye shut against the fierce pain that stabbed through it. Sensation was returning, and he was injured. He froze, his wounds forgotten. He realized he'd just flicked a piece of troggy body onto the scribe. Trogs lived in nests. Nest members, the briefing had said, were almost a gestalt entity, a hive whose members were far closer to each other than any human twin. Arun cleared his throat. "Were there many tropied on your side?" He winced, unable to stop himself glancing around at the combat slurry. He could have phrased that better. "A little over 1,000 nest siblings were tropied. Is that the right word? You do mean killed, don't you?" The alien had replayed a recording of Arun's voice when it said tropied. Seemed the translation software wasn't up to date with the vernacular used by the 412th Marines. "Yeah, tropied, entropied?" Arun shrugged. "I'm sorry." "Why?" The scribe twitched its feelers. "Because you humans killed so many?" "Well," Zug always told him that aliens don't do sarcasm, not that a human would ever understand anyway, so Arun decided to take the alien's words literally. "Yes," he said, looking at the massed ranks of Guardians. One word from the scribe and he'd be chopped meat himself within 2 seconds. "I feel regret," Arun decided to add, "that so many Nest siblings were slain." Slain? He didn't think he'd ever used the archaic word before, but he couldn't quite bring himself to say killed with all those alien warriors standing there in the wreckage of their brothers and sisters, or whatever passed for gender within the nest. The scribe twisted its antennae into spirals and said, "You humans amuse us with your wild flights of emotion." It paused. "We also feel intense emotion at the appropriate stages in our life journeys. But there is always a purpose to our emotion. But you, human, why do you grieve for fallen enemies?" "Trogs aren't my enemies. We're all slaves of the White Knights on Tranquility." "True, just as those of my race are also slaves to our biological life cycle and to our nest's resource constraints." The scribe relaxed its feelers and swayed slightly. "Today you killed my nest siblings who were in the stage of our life cycle you call guardians. An individual's body changes to the guardian state only because they failed in their previous life phase. They are the oldest on average, and so are expendable. In primitive nests, guardians are first to form the defensive wedge when rival nests attack. Without war between nests, our guardian population must be culled. For us, it is a kindness for humans to kill so many, because we remember these individuals from an earlier time in their lives when they were our friends, our children, and our parents. Better you do it than we kill them ourselves. However they are culled, their role is not yet complete, as we will shortly take their remains to be composted." Arun pointed at one of the nearby corpses that was still relatively intact. "That one," he said. "Are you telling me you're going to chop him up and use him to help grow your vegetables?" "Of course." "Frack!" Arun raised his hands palms up. "Aliens!" The trog matched his gesture of bemusement, using its front limbs to approximate a shrug. "Aliens!" it exclaimed.